Hi, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? My name is Scott DesBles. I'm a product technologist at Boomi. I'm here to talk to you today about chatbots and mobile apps and how they can transform your customer experiences. So a couple quick questions for you. How many of you have ever created an FAQ that you hope your users will read if they have some kind of a problem? How many of you have experienced where your customer never actually reads that FAQ and they call the help desk in the first place, right? So part of what we're going to talk about is finding new ways to engage with users and expose information you already have, just in a kind of a new method, if you will. And certainly when it comes to chatbots and such, a lot of that is coming out of the customer support area, where chatbots were built to help a call rep who's answering the phone start kind of walking through a checklist, if you will, when they call in. But more and more they're being expanded into engaging customers in new ways, maybe a chatbot on your website so they engage that way. Maybe that's an SMS chatbot, so we'll kind of get into what that is. But it's all driven, of course, by digital innovation, and it's around the connected customer. Obviously, with everything we have going on in IT around cloud, mobile, social, big data and such, it's bringing a wealth of information and a lot of new different data sources to have endpoints to communicate with. And ultimately, we want to be where the customer is at any time, in any place, right? So you want to engage your users wherever they happen to be. And as we all know, any successful application that is being built really needs to drive communications and effectiveness in a multitude of areas. We certainly need to connect with the data sources wherever they happen to be, whether that's cloud applications, on-premise applications, standard out-of-the-box applications, or something you've custom built and custom coded inside your environment, B2B, whether doing EDI exchanges with our business partners, doing any kind of electronic things, and of course the growing use of IoT, or simply gathering data from the edge and the multitude of data sources that those provide. Your application has to be able to talk to all of those, or at least use an integration platform to help you get data to all of those, and then expose that information wherever the user happens to be. Whether that's out in the field, sitting behind a desk in a call center, sales going down the road. Maybe I don't propose a mobile app when they're driving down the road, but you get the idea, right? Sales out in the field, wherever that user happens to be, we need to find ways to engage with those users. Our platform, our unified platform, really solves that customer gap experience. We provide multitude of tools within the platform to help you integrate data wherever those applications and data sources happen to be. We can help you master that data by providing a golden record source. So I'm sure many of you in the audience have more systems that have, or more than one system, I should say, that has, for example, your customer's address. And every time an address is updated in one system, if it's not automatically updated in the others, we all know that that creates a problem. Now, it could be an address, it could be a part number, it could be a multitude of things, but that's where master data management can help you solidify those things. We have a tool called Mediate, which helps you manage APIs, not only exposing APIs, but also build APIs and access data sources. And Flow, which is what I'm going to focus on in the rest of the conversation. Flow is our workflow automation tool that can help you build experiences like chatbots and other ways to engage in new ways of the data that all your various applications are providing. Now, there's many good use cases for chatbots in the enterprise. And again, a chatbot doesn't have to be something that's on a website. It could be something that's embedded in the mobile and various different platforms. But it can help you with increased compliance. It can help you with improved productivity, increased speed of resolution. You think of, again, go back to that service desk model when people call in and I have a problem with this, and helping them walk through step by step of what to do first. Obviously, that increases the speed of resolving those things. Those same types of use cases can be brought out into the field in engaging with your customers in new and unique ways. So really, it's increased the scope of data collection in a lot of interesting ways. This is from Gartner. Gartner is saying that by 2021, 15% of all customer interactions will be handled by some kind of AI. That's an increase of 400%. I think we all have probably experienced engaging AI in some way, whether you have a consumer device like Alexa or Google or something along those lines, or you have, again, some kind of thing in your enterprise today that are engaging in those ways. I think we're all kind of realizing that we can use this technology to drive access to information in ways that different people want to look at it. And this is what I mean by different people who want to look at it, right? We really need to know our audience. We need to know who the consumer of the information is, right? That could be a traditional user, it could be a non-traditional user. So I have a number of kids. I have 4 kids myself, and I have 3 of them that are in college. And as we can all joke with, but it is true, they are not going to go to your website and scroll past your first page, right? They're not going to answer your phone call. They're going to engage with information that's a little bit different than the way that I'm engaging with information. So they'll absolutely do a chatbot. They'll absolutely text you to find information. And they'll do those types of engagements in where there's an automated fashion. They'll still engage with voice activations. So think of a student in a university who would probably rather text to find out what homework is due or what the grade is in their class than go to the portal and look it up. So those are the types of things we need to understand. Who is the audience that we're talking to? What does our customer look like? Whether that's an internal employee that I still think from an IT perspective we should view them as a customer, or it's a legit customer of the business, whatever it happens to be. Now, chatbots can be delivered in a number of different ways. Right? Certainly there's SMS. We're all familiar with sending text. Of course, we can make this where the text is very interactive. Again, what's the grade in my class? Is this product still available? What's the stock? Or those types of things. Various ways to engage with those. We've probably used, all of us at sometimes, some type of automation behind a text. Likely if you've ever texted your bank to get your bank balance, right? There wasn't a person responding to that message. There was an automation engine at the back end that picked up your balance and replied to you. You can certainly embed those into standard websites, right? Where it can be a chatbot that pops up at the bottom of the web page or the web page when they log in, and now it's a different way for that user to engage. Still on your website, you still brought them to that experience, but embedded into that functionality. It could be through various different channels. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Slack or other types of tools like that. It could be literally you build a channel, and the channel itself is a chatbot where it's replying that way. And obviously with voice. Many different ways to deliver that as well. You can have different personas. You can think about this. If a university might have a chatbot for each employee, IT might have a chatbot versus HR has their chatbot in a corporate environment, those types of things. So different ways to engage that has different information and maybe different responses. Regardless of what those are, Boomi can help you. We have a tool set, a set of templates and applications that can help you quickly build out these chatbots and get them into your users' hands quickly. So let's talk about chatbots a little bit more detail. Let's get into kind of the technology behind them, if you will. And obviously, like any technology, you can start simple and build to something very complex. So this is a way of looking at bot complexity, if you will. So let's talk about the first phase of what we would call a level 1 chatbot. This might be where it's just a simple question response type thing. Maybe it's some pre-built answers that go into a database. It might be one channel. You're simply delivering it as a link on a website, or it's just simply via SMS. It might just be one language. So it's simple Q&A, question response type functionality. Level 2 chatbots tend to be more complicated, obviously, and maybe multiple languages. Maybe we're starting to train the natural language processor to interpret information a little bit further. Maybe we're pulling some context from various locations. That might be pulling information from APIs in the back end or responding with links for the user to click on to provide more information, that type of stuff. And a full level 3 chatbot might be where it's bot-to-bot integration and a multitude of things. The point of all this is don't think of a chatbot or something like that as I have to go all the way to level 3 to get it out the door. Start simple. Start with the basic thing. Take that FAQ that you might have on your IT website that you're hoping when Outlook isn't working that your users are going through, and automate that. Put that into a chatbot so your users can interact with that right away. And maybe the last step, if once they got to step 9, now open the ticket with IT because we haven't resolved it otherwise. So behind a chatbot is a natural language processor. And most of us are familiar with the most common ones. That would be Lex from Amazon. Of course, that's what delivers Alexa. Google, of course, has their own engine and others as well. So when you integrate with a natural language processor to do that, there's what's called an intent and a slot. So let's talk about the intent first. The intent is a simple question-answer type response. For example, when are you open? And the response comes back. Or where is the headquarters? And it's one single address that comes back. So a simple intent is kind of the first question of that. The slot is when it starts to get a little bit more contextual. Like, I'm looking for the address for the contact information for a specific person, right? Where the intent is I'm looking for the contact info and the slot happens to be the person. And it can obviously can be more complicated that with multiple slots. That's where things start to get engaged. Instead of a simple response from a database, now I might need to go look that information up in the contact information. For example, I'm looking for the contact information for this person. I may need to integrate with Active Directory and pull that information out of Active Directory and then respond to that user in that fashion. The way a chatbot typically works is the user asks a question. That question is then sent to the natural language processor. Again, Amazon, Google, whoever you'd like to use for that. It is then processed for the key points for the intent. If it's simple intent QA, typically that is you can build that into the NLP to actually respond. Otherwise, it's passed off to a tool like Boomi, where we can look up the answer in a database or make the API or data calls we need to into the application. We provide the response, and the response goes back to the user. So our framework really helps you get started. It's a hybrid platform with a built-in artificial intelligence and business rules to help you embed that functionality, whether you're embedding it into a website. You might be using Boomi Flow to build additional websites and put that functionality into. So it's a set, again, of templates and applications to really jumpstart you getting into this. It's not necessarily in itself a bot application. It is a framework that allows you to build bots and various different types of bots and really expand upon that as your needs grow. Also includes an admin portal. So as important as the front end is that users are engaging, people who are running that need a simple way to control the information and that type of stuff too. So there's an admin portal as part of our template and application template process where you can deliver insights and understand what people are asking and expand upon that functionality very easy. So please, Boomi can help you with your whole data integration platform and certainly help you with building things like chatbots in the enterprise to deliver the information you already have in the various applications in new ways with new users. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, thank you very much.